Okay, good afternoon and welcome back. We are ready for our third session today, and we have Connecting the Dots, which is how Ohio Promise can support early intervention professionals and families. This is our hybrid session today for our early intervention track, so that's why you will see some additional IT. And if there are some questions in the chat box, I'll try to address those while we're going through the session. Okay, so we have Jody Bailey and Brittany Prince. I'm going to hand it over to them, and they're going to give some background, and then we will get started.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Prince. I am the Early Childhood Family Support Manager for OCALI. I oversee our Family Support Specialist program, which we'll go over in a little bit, and I also provide evidence-based practice coaching to the developmental specialists working towards their 5-year credential.
Good afternoon. I am Jody Bailey. This is my 25th year in education, so I am fortunate to be a part of our team at OCALI as an early learning and developmental specialist for the Southwest region. So we're going to talk a lot today about OCALI, our center, Ohio Promise, and wrapping that all into the benefits for you all as EI folks. And the other thing I wanted to share is I absolutely love this conference, and I love everything that you all are doing. It touches deep to my heart. My grandfather was actually one of the first, back in the day, it was County Board of MRDD, board members in my county. And then more recently, my father became a board member. And then I got my OACB superintendent certificate through the executive development program. So absolutely love this conference, absolutely love everything you guys do. So thank you very much. It doesn't go unnoticed. All right, so jumping in, today our objectives are pretty cut and dry. It's talking about Ohio Promise, our center, the Early Childhood Center of Excellence, the key roles and the focus, and then those shared priorities between EI and Ohio Promise. So as we move through the afternoon, we're going to talk about an overview of OCALI. We're going to talk about, again, Ohio Promise. We're going to talk about the Early Childhood Center of Excellence. We're going to talk about how we can partner. We're going to share some different examples and reflections. And then we're going to review Ohio Promise for families and how that can also support our families directly. And then we'll have some questions and wrap up. All right, so a quick raise of the hand, or if you are joining us virtually, you can type yes or no in the chat. Who here is familiar with OCALI? Nice, you guys all passed. Very good. All right, who here is familiar with Ohio Promise? Very good. And then who has accessed OCALI's Early Childhood Center of Excellence support before? Oh, very cool. Yay. Awesome. Thank you. Wonderful. All right. So for the couple hands that didn't go up about being familiar with OCALI, OCALI is the Ohio Center for Autism and Low Incidence Disabilities. And why we do what we do is pretty simple. It's to help individuals have the opportunity to live their best lives. So just like anybody else, that same mission is our mission and our vision for individuals with disabilities. So we take change and we promote access for people with disabilities. And essentially we take policy and we turn it into practice. So that's really the foundation of everything that happens at OCALI. At OCALI, there are 9 centers. We are a lifespan organization. So from birth all the way through, you can find a resource that you're looking for. And a lot of the resources are free, which we all really like that, right? So we are with the Center for the Young Child, which we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. I also wanted to point out OCALICon. Are you guys familiar? So that occurs in November, world-renowned, amazing conference. Absolutely love it. And then we're going to talk about our lending library too, so that you know, again, some more free resources. Okay, so the Center for the Young Child, if you think about, I'm a visual learner, so at the top we have OCALI, then we break it down, we have the Center for the Young Child. So we are partnering with the Department of Children and Youth, and we're dedicated to sharing resources, providing training and technical assistance, and really trying to impact the development of young children. So trying to get to our youngest learners from birth through age 5. So back to that umbrella of OCALI, the Center for the Young Child. Then under that, if you almost think of it as a sub-center, is the Early Childhood Center of Excellence. So it's also a sub-center, but yet it's a pillar of Ohio Promise, which is an initiative through the Department of Children and Youth. There will not be a test. I'm still trying to figure it out, right? So lots of amazing good things happening. It's just figuring out the structure. So OCALI, Center for the Young Child, Early Childhood Center of Excellence, being a pillar of Ohio Promise, which Ohio Promise is a statewide initiative. We promote resources, opportunities, and meaningful inclusion through support and education. An amazing initiative that is free. So the big goal is making sure that all Ohioans have the opportunity to live, play, learn, and work from birth all the way through. Okay, so Ohio Promise. There are 5 pillars. The first pillar is the Ohio Promise professional credential. Then we have the program designation. Then we have the Early Childhood Center of Excellence, the Child Care Choice Program Voucher, and then the Ohio Promise Advisory Council. So we're going to touch on a few of these items. So first is the Ohio Promise Professional Credential. I absolutely love this and feel like it is the biggest hidden secret that we're trying to uncover because it's not meant to be hidden, right? The good things are sometimes the things that take a minute to get out there, and that's why we're here, pushing this great information. So essentially what happens, this is high quality, free professional development that has 3 different levels. So you start with level 1, it is all asynchronous. So you do it at your own time, your own pace, and the first level is 5.5 hours. Once you complete that, you advance to level 2. That's 7 hours. Then as you complete that, you advance to level 3, which is 7.5 hours. So the way this works, you sign up through OCRA, and the classes are all on Education Station. So we will talk in depth about Education Station as we keep going, but this is a wonderful way to get high quality, free PD that really is meaningful. I don't know how many times over 25 years I've had to get my hours, and it's like, okay, so it's either this or it's this. And now we finally have a system that's laid out that's like, oh my gosh, like this is really good stuff. So, and it's meant for anybody too. The next is the Ohio Promise Program Designation. And with that, if somebody in an organization, an agency, a school, a center, a family child care, whatever it may be, whoever is licensed through DCY, if the professional completes the professional credential and the administrator completes level 1, you can then apply for the program designation. So essentially what that program designation does is it allows families to know, hey, these guys have invested the extra time, energy, and effort to learn best practices. So it highlights you on the search. All right, and the Child Care Choice Program, I know in the session before, they had touched on that, so as a pillar, we wanted to throw in a slide. And if you have any questions, you can let us know about that one. Okay, so a quick reflection, and just turning to the left and to the right of you, We want you to go through these questions, and then we're going to ask you whole group. So we're just going to take a minute or two. So looking back and forth to each other, talk about which early learning environments you have provided support in. What does that look like? Have you been in a home? Have you been to a daycare? Have you been to a Head Start, to a private preschool? Have you been hospital-based? Like, talk about the different settings. Then talk about some successes that you've seen and maybe some barriers or some challenges. So we're just going to give you a minute or two to talk amongst yourself, and then we're going to ask you to share out. This is my favorite part of the presentation, just to warn you. When I taught, I had a young fella who had a diagnosis of Down syndrome. He is a senior in high school today. Absolutely love him. But in second grade, he would get off the bus and he would sit down. And so people would pick him up and carry him in. So guess what he'd keep doing? He'd keep sitting, right? So he's getting all this attention, positive reinforcement. So finally I said, guys, no more. We're not going to carry him. They're like, what? You're going to wait him out? Yes, I am. So 2.5 hours later, we came in. And when I tell this story, people are like, I don't have 2.5 hours. I'm like, I didn't have 2.5 hours, but I'm not carrying him when he's 18 years old into the school building. Because if we keep doing this, this is what's going to happen. So my point is, I'm really good at waiting people out. So after you guys talk, we're going to share out and, just hopefully get like a handful of people. So go ahead, take a couple of minutes, people to your left, to your right, talk through these questions really quick.
It's on here. We're good. Right? I'm going to give you one more minute. People are talking. I was thinking they were at round tables. Which is fine. This seems to be working too. Yeah. Like they're making it work. Yeah. It's awesome. Okay. Cool. Good? Yeah. All right. Let's bring it back together in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, what environments have you guys worked in? Children's Museum, I love it. That's a great one to kick us off. Yeah. Where else? Costco? Childcare? Music school? Library? Park? 2 more?
Homeless shelter. Horse therapy. I love all of those answers. How about some successes, like being out in these different environments? Is there anything that you're like, oh my gosh, like this was really nice that this was there, or this wasn't there? Anything that you guys came up with? Don't worry, I'll get in my stance. I'm good. What would be some successes going out there versus being at a table face to face? You're out in real world environments. You're doing the things naturally that are occurring. What are some natural challenges, or I'm sorry, some natural successes that occur? Yes, yes, the light bulb moment, right? What about the generalization of skills, right? We've taught in isolation, and isn't that our goal, to generalize, to be able to master, and to be able to do it in a different location? Ma'am at the back, did you have something? Yes, yes, the natural interactions, the natural sounds. Think about during COVID, when the babies were from newborn to 3, they weren't going to the grocery store. They weren't experiencing the sounds and the lights. If you were the Bailey kids, you were you were greeted at the front door by the ladies from the florist with the free balloon and the cookie, because they knew that they were going to lose their mind in like 10 minutes. Those kids who were born during 2020, they weren't out having those experiences. Those are natural things that we all are exposed to. And so now fast forward, those experiences for those kiddos are totally different than what kids are experiencing now or prior to that. What about challenges when you go into those environments? What are some barriers? Turnover? 100%. Huge challenge, right? Reluctancy? Absolutely. Like, gosh, people are watching. Hurry up, don't do that, don't touch this, do this, right? That nervousness. And I'm sorry, is there anything coming through on the chat? Oh, okay. I didn't want to ignore our friends virtually. Thank you guys for taking the time to talk about that and generate those thinkings. We really want you not to just be in a set and get, but be able to take something away from this that's impactful and really thought-provoking of how you're going to keep moving forward. So what I'm going to talk about now is the Early Childhood Center of Excellence, and we've broken it down into 3 different areas: support, education, and collaboration. And with that, I'm going to talk through each area. So with support, what happens, we have a one-pager. There is an OCALI table out here today. If you guys want to grab our one-pager, it has all of our services, which are free, yes, on there with QR codes that you can scan, and it gets you exactly where you need to go. On here is also the QR code to make a request. So all these services I'm going to talk about start with that request. So you make a request, which is very simple. It's very user-friendly. There's not a ton of information. You're not uploading your resume and all the things that sometimes you have to do when you're looking for different resources. So then it shoots out to what category. So for general information and parent request, an example of that would be we're looking for support in a center. Can you help us? It can be that simple. And then what happens, our manager gets this information. She looks at where you're at in the state, and then she disseminates it out to one of us. So I have 3 colleagues who are throughout the state, in the Northwest, the Northeast, and the Southeast, and then I'm the Southwest. So it's disseminated out to us, and then we reach out to you to talk about the requests that you put in. Typically, it's about 24 to 48 hours that we're making contact with you to schedule an initial meeting. From there, that's general information. With parent requests, typically we field those over to Brittany and her team of the family support specialists, who are amazing, and we will talk about them in just a little bit. For consultation and technical assistance, that would be something like, we just had a child come into a family childcare. We know it's going to be okay, but the transition's not going smooth. Can we talk this out? So it's more of a planning and a problem solving. Technical assistance might be, we're really trying our best to implement an IFSP. Do you have ideas of how we can enhance some of these adaptations? So again, planning, problem solving, respecting all the team members who are already in the loop, just kind of joining in and saying, hey, can we help? What can we do to support you guys? And then for practice-based coaching, this is where we go in and we're coaching the professional. So a lot of the work that we're doing is directly with the professional to help support a child and or children. So with practice-based coaching, it starts with an initial conversation to talk about, is this child specific, or is this more of a classroom or a center specific request? The reason we ask that is there's two different types of permission, where if it is child specific, we need parent permission to go further. If it's more about a classroom or a center or a different type of location, then we do an opt-out form where every child who goes into that environment gets a form for their parents that says, coaching is going on, OCALI is going to be present. If you do not want your child to be involved, please sign here and return it. Otherwise, we're good. So it's an opportunity for parents to know what's going on, but they don't have to sign permission, if that makes sense. So it's two different avenues. And then from there, what happens, we do a strengths and needs assessment where we talk about, well, you talk about what do we do well and what do we need help with? And it's being very honest and reflective so that we can help. Then I would do an observation. Then we come together and say, okay, based on your strengths and needs and based on my observation, let's set a goal. What do we want to look at? Are we looking at the environment? Are we looking at modifications? Are we looking at adaptations? What is it that we need that's going to help everybody? And then we move through that cycle. So on this next slide, it shows the cycle of observing strengths and needs, collaborating, coaching, identify the goal, we make action steps, and then we either finish out or we create another goal. So there's going to be an example here in a little bit where I worked with a developmental specialist from early intervention and what that looked like. Because some of you may be thinking, well, I don't have my own classroom. How would this work? What does this look like? And it all is not just classroom-based, right? It's for anybody who's licensed through DCY that we can come and help those professionals. Yes, birth through 5. Thank you, Brittany. All right, professional development and group training. So online webinars, we're going to show off Education Station towards the end of the presentation. Such an amazing resource. Our in-person workshops, we do conferences just like this, but we also work with individual programs, centers, agencies, whoever it may be, to create a professional development plan if they're interested. So what that looks like, we have paired it with the Ohio Promise Level 1 professional credential. So once the majority of staff get through Level 1, then it opens up 5 in-person trainings that we come and offer for free. Got it. Yep. So with that, after they get through Level 1, and we've done in-person trainings, and they move through Level 2, then it opens up a whole new course offering of in-person trainings. And then Level 3, we're working on community of practices, so how to build the internal capacity. So really doing this hand in hand as you're working through your continuous improvement plans. All right, and the No Nap Time series, anybody familiar? Yes. So a great resource, again, these are on Education Station. They are free. They are Ohio approved credit, quick little snippets that you can watch. They're 30 minutes, and it is on a variety of topics. Our most recent was on behavior, which was a huge hit. So all of those are at your fingertips, and again, through our one-pager that are out at the OCALI table. All right, collaborative services for outreach and community events. We take our show on the road. We're just trying to get all this good information out. So when I say sometimes it's that hidden secret, there's a lot of people who are like, oh no, we haven't heard about that. Tell us more. And we're like, absolutely, here you go. What can we tell you? How long do you want us to talk? Let's go. So we're all over the state spreading the good news about this. And then we also do cross-agency collaboration. So we're working with state support teams, CC&Rs, you name it, we're collaborating to make sure that everybody's getting access to the same information. And then program and community level quality improvement, that's more working with the program to help work through the ECTA standards and really that guidance to stay on track for best practices. Okay, so our material and equipment support, this is good stuff. So this is all, you got it. And what has happened, we have taken our early childhood collection and we have meshed it with the lending library at OCALI. So it is now a one-stop shop. If you want to jump to the next one. What can happen, as long as you are residing in Ohio and you're over 18, you can be a parent, you can be a professional, you can be anybody, as long as you are an adult in Ohio. You create an account. It's online, it's free, it's a library card, just like you would do at your public library. And then no fees. We ship to you for free. We give you a label to ship back for free. And then you have items on loan for 3 weeks. This is so amazing because it's a way to not only save money, but to be able to see if something works. You know, sometimes we have the best ideas and we're like, oh, this would be perfect for Brittany. And then we give it to Brittany and Brittany throws it. And we're like, oh, well, good thing we didn't spend $40 on that because Brittany doesn't like it. So it is a great resource. On these additional slides, you're going to see some examples of what's on there. And if for nothing else, it is great to get ideas. There are so many amazing resources, birth all the way through. So adapted switches, weighted lap pads, different modified seating, time timers, we're no strangers to that, but then there's also different types of visual timers as well. Mini schedule boards, which, I mean, we're all probably kicking ourselves that we didn't think of this 20 years ago and we're millionaires, right? But there are all kinds of different ideas through the lending library. So it doesn't mean you actually have to check it out to look at it, but you could see the picture and the Spark Guide, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, to steal that idea. Sensory kits, small muscle development, self-care kits. There's just, I could go on and on and on. Deaf and hard of hearing kits, elopement kits, and then switch access kits as well. What is really neat, not only was this all created and developed with a specialization from birth to 5, but it's paired with a Spark Guide. So the Spark Guide is your cliff notes to say, how do I use this? What does it pair best with? What makes sense, right? So sometimes we see something and we're like, oh, we got to have that. And then we're like, what do we do with it? So this is what you do with it, right? So for families to be able to access this too is huge. It just takes all of that unknown out and lays it all out for you. Okay, so EI and our center shared goals. We both support the child's learning and development. We both foster inclusion and meaningful participation in the community. And we both build the capacity, competence, and confidence of caregivers. So why wouldn't we partner? I mean, come on, this is good stuff. So essentially, we're here to make an impact, just like you are every single day. So 2 heads are better than 1, 4 are better than 2. So if we can all come together and say, hey, let's plan this out or let's problem solve it. Because that's really what we do in life, right? We're either planning or we're shifting courses and we're problem solving. So what our resources are really directed for are for all children to have that access and those best inclusive experiences. What people sometimes think is, well, they're not diagnosed or they're not receiving services. That's okay. That's not a prerequisite. We are here to help. If somebody's having a hard time, we're there to try to help figure out and be on that path with you to figure out how to best serve them. All right, so when my EI and Early Childhood Center of Excellence partner, if a child needs accommodations or assistive technology, sometimes just thinking outside of the box, right? I think of things and sometimes my brain just goes to the same thing every time and it's like, no, there's 20 other resources we could try. When a child's at risk of expulsion or struggling to participate in daily routines. So this is even for a child, if you're a developmental specialist, you go out to Head Start and you're serving one kiddo and you notice another kiddo's having a really hard time and the staff just don't know what to do, that would be a perfect referral to talk to the staff and say, hey guys, put in a request. They can come and help you. It's not just for the kiddo who has the diagnosis or is receiving the services. We want to help all professionals be able to take their game up a notch. Early intervention or child care professionals need help to support children with autism or any of the low incidence disabilities. They're just not sure exactly how to meet their needs. And maybe overall the program is not used to serving diverse needs and just they need that extra support, that extra help, professional development, maybe the coaching or the consultation. All right, so this is an example of a developmental specialist from EI. This was a year ago where I had the opportunity to work with her. She was absolutely amazing. And she was going into an early Head Start classroom to serve 2 of her kiddos. And we went through the strengths and needs, which was kind of challenging for her because she's like, well, it's not my own classroom. And I said, well, think about it through the lens of if it were your classroom or what you can bring to the table being in the classroom. So we worked through that. I did an observation. We came up with a goal, and it was to adapt the materials and environments to support children of all abilities. Because when she's in there, she's like, these strategies could help everybody. Absolutely. Good teaching is good teaching. That's never going to change no matter what initiative's out there, right? So we looked at a variety of materials, and with environments, it was the classroom and it was the home. Because if we're not generalizing that from the classroom to home, how are the parents going to know? We're not going to see the rate of progress that we want to if everybody's not doing the same thing together. So the steps that we took, she collaborated with the teachers, which she had to build that relationship. You guys know that. You can't go into a house, you can't go into any environment and just be like, okay, I'm here, let's get going. You have to build that relationship or else it's not going to go anywhere. So she took the time, came in there, said good morning to everybody. They would clean up for breakfast. She started cleaning up. It's not her job, right? But she was like, let me help be a part of this team. Let me show you what I can bring to the table. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. We all are in this together. So she did an amazing job doing that. And then they started to implement the IFSP goals for both of the boys, which were obviously separate. And it turned into a really fun and inclusive environment where when we started, both boys were not intentionally, but they were kind of isolated, right? Because everybody else moved over here and because they weren't following, they really weren't making them. But they also didn't have the opportunity to know what was happening because they weren't being taken over there. Like, hey, give me your hand. Do you want to hop over there or do you want to crawl? What do you want to do? They just kind of, well, it's by choice. Okay, well, let's show them what they're choosing not to be a part of, and then they can leave. So she did All About Me, which is an adaptation from Charting the Life course. You guys familiar? Really good stuff. We are both the ambassadors, absolutely love it. So she took all of this information, talked with the parents, got it all on paper, shared it with the classroom, and a couple of the teachers were like, we didn't know that. And I was like, well, yeah, here you go. Like, this is good stuff. And then one of the boys was getting ready to turn 3, so we're going to use it to transition him to the school district. So instead of the parents having to say over and over again the same stuff, she did an All About Me page. So anybody working with him knew exactly his likes, his dislikes. When I'm getting ready to ramp up, this is what it looks like. This is how you can help me calm down. And then with that, we took it a step further, put different visuals throughout the classroom, different sensory, modified seatings, adaptations. We had a single message button so that the one boy could communicate with his peers during circle time. And her takeaway from all of this was, with support, teaming, and shared ideas, classrooms, teachers, and kids will be their own success. So it took me a couple of times when she first wrote that, like, hold on, let me break this down. And then I'm like, oh, it's all just right there. It's all about relationships. It's all about working together. And if we all are just looking through that same lens of how can we make this the best possible experience, the best possible inclusive experience, then boom, it's right there.
Okay, this was touched on a little bit the previous session, but we'll just kind of reinforce Ohio Promise for Families. Recently, a campaign came out for this, so people are probably building their awareness as well. So with the Ohio Promise for Families, we want to make sure those families are able to find those high quality programs that support their child or all children that have diverse needs. And just make sure that parents know that there is someone there to give live support, see those Ohio Promise designation programs, and explore those funding options, because funding can be a huge barrier for a variety of reasons for someone to attend an inclusive classroom. Then we also have the Family Support Specialist Program. I know a lot of people in this room, and I've plugged it so many times, but just one more time. We are in partnership with the Department of Children and Youth. We support families and children birth to 5 years old that have developmental concerns for their child. Just like Jody said, they don't need to have an official diagnosis. A lot of times people come to us thinking, I think my child's on the spectrum. What do I do? Or someone brought this up to me and I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm not sure where to start. Or my child did just receive this diagnosis and I want someone to talk to. So we could be there to just lend an ear. All of my family support specialists have lived experience raising a child with autism or other developmental needs. So sometimes just that connection. So we have this great EI team around them, and we just want that extra layer of talking to someone that they can relate to that maybe has been through EI before, just letting down their guard a little bit, right? That connection is so important. We also make sure that these families are following through with EI. When it's time for preschool transition, it can be really scary and parents don't want to go through with it. We can share our lived experience on the benefits and some ways that help them feel the most comfortable with all of that, navigating all those services. We make sure that we don't duplicate the service coordinator's role, but we just make sure that they're aware of other programs and resources that are available to them. Always deferring to the service coordinator, like I said, or connecting them to a parent youth ambassador if there's a more niche need they might have outside of our realm. We also have some resources that we developed this fiscal year. They are available on our website, and we have some rack cards up here with the QR code that'll take you right there. But one is, what does this mean? It's a glossary of common terms that a family might hear when starting out on this journey, like, what is an OT, right? So all of that is kind of laid out in our glossary. Our newest resource is called What to Do While You Wait, and we know that wait lists are long, and we want to make sure that parents recognize that they can still there's some steps they can take while they're waiting for that big appointment, right? So we have that all laid out for them. And we also are doing some tangible resources that we will be passing out at spring and summer outreach events. So we're very excited about those. So again, this is the QR code. I have some rec cards up here. Anyone can make the referral. We are just asking that the parent is aware that the referral is being made, because I call them to get them connected to one of my team members and they don't want to hear it, right? So we just emphasize making sure the parent is aware of the consent. I just need to know the date of birth, the county they live in, so I can triage them just like the EDLSs. Our FSSs are planted throughout the state. And if they need an interpreter, because we have access to interpreting services as well. Do you want me to cover this, or you want to? You talked a lot. I'll go. Okay. So in addition, there are other resources. The NapTime series was connected to Education Station, but this is a one-stop shop for early childhood and EI professionals. It's a great way when you need to knock out your CEUs when it's time to renew your certification, right? So we have a suite of resources. This is geared towards early learning and education professionals, but EI professionals can take it as well. The In the Know NapTime series that was previously mentioned, Early Childhood Universal Access, which also goes along with the credential, correct? And then we have AAC and Young Children. This is within the last year. That's one of our newer resources. We have a lot of autism-specific resources as well. And we just launched our micro-learnings, so quick 10 to 15 minutes that you can bundle together. All of that is available on Education Station. And a new resource that we're plugging that the family support specialists have been working on, and it should be coming within the next few weeks, so keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be called All In Early Intervention, and it's just supporting collaboration among EI, early care and education professionals, and families. So a lot of times we want to come in and support the professional, but we got to remember, if again, going back to charting the life course, when you think of the layers, it's the child, the families wrapped around them, and then the community. And sometimes we want to go in there, we get consent from the parent to go in there, but then we kind of leave them out, right? Not intentionally, it's just how the flow of a child care or daycare visit goes. And also, we want to use this resource to let parents be aware of what all is going to be taking place when a visit happens in a child care or early learning setting, but also that those professionals know what to expect as well. Sometimes, I was a DS for 10 years, and I know a lot of people will agree, sometimes we go into the child care setting, and they maybe weren't prepared or didn't know, like, what is actually going to be happening here? And I'm sure that got touched on the last session with Kathy, because I've seen some of her content too. So it's just really laying it out, some quick resources that align with the DEC recommended practices and Sheldon and Rush services in childcare settings. And it will be on the homepage of the Ohio EI website. So we'll put in the Tuesday times when it launches. Okay.
All right, perfect. So one last time, if you turn to your left to your right, we're going to do this for a couple minutes, come back together, and then we have a survey for you guys to do, if you don't mind, to tell us if we were amazing or you want to sue us because you lost an hour of your life that you're never going to get back. So, all right, first thing will be to talk about which resource, service, or support shared today feels most useful for your current work. So just really trying to apply what we talked about and, hey, yeah, I could take this away. And if not for myself, I know somebody else who might benefit from coaching or consultation or a parent request or FSS. And then think about what questions do you still have about when and how to partner with our center. So go ahead, take a couple minutes, chat it up, and we'll come back together.
For both of us meet the criteria. No, you're very good.
yeah, we're doing it. Right? We didn't have a clock, so we just guessed.
1 more minute.
Yeah, not too bad. 3:03. Yeah, perfect. Because after that, I think then is the survey, right? Survey, yeah, and questions, contact information, and then we can tell them to come up and get cards. I'll put them together.
Perfect. Yay. Well, and we've done this in, not with the AI component, but like it all kind of flows, right? So, but we were talking about that too. Like when it goes to PD final review, we almost want a meeting to say, okay, this was the rationale, this is how we landed, because when somebody just looks, it becomes more opinion versus feedback. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about our team. We're constantly analyzing and like, how can we do better? All right, we'll bring it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anybody want to share about what you felt was beneficial? Okay. Hold on, we're going to start with the chat.
So I have a question and a comment, so we'll open with the comment, and then when we do questions. Melanie shared, I actually just spoke with a family about your family support services earlier this week. I also love the Education Station resources, the nap time series, and have watched and shared those with families. I also suggested the self-care kit from the Lending Library to a family. Great resources all around.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Go ahead.
I did not know any of this.
Do you care to speak in the mic?
I did not know any of this as a DS. There's so many, I have so many families with autism, and there's so much that I could have been sharing that I didn't know about. So thank you.
Thank you. And now you know. So, and tell a friend. Anybody else? Come on. I know that afternoon carbs sitting in the carb coma where it's like, all right, lady, we're done with you. We got to go get a Coke Zero. What about questions? What questions do you guys have? Or anything you can think of? Questions, comments, concerns? Yeah.
Do your family support specialists ever provide support during IEP meetings?
So we would connect them with the Parent Mentor Project. So a big thing at OCALI is we can inform but not advise. So we make sure that they're aware of services in their region or their county that could attend those meetings with them. We also use those Charting the Life course tools to help build up some self-advocacy. We can help them prepare. That tangible resource I mentioned it's called a family support folio, and it's an organization binder. Think of like the old school Help Me Grow accordion binders we would give families, but it's just to organize all their thoughts and prep for an IFSP, IEP, or an important medical meeting. So.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, oh, give me it. So that's our goal, is that so many people. But when we meet, we can talk individually about that. There's a lot of concerns sometimes with staff turnover and stuff like that. Like, what if we get 80% and then we lose people? The whole purpose is trying to get people to do level 1 so that we're all at the same baseline when we come and do in person, because sometimes people are like, wait, what? Or, gosh, we've heard that. You know, it's just trying to establish a baseline. Does that help? But we are flexible. Like, there's not a percentage. We just really encourage a lot of the staff to have the level 1 so that they can get more out of the in-person.
Mallory asked, how do we request these Spark kits, and are they mailed out?
Yeah, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So we can put, if you were to go to ohiopromise.org and you look at the 5 pillars, you'll see the Early Childhood Center of Excellence. The Spark guides will be linked there, but they will also be included on our Lending Library update. So you'll see some filters through the Lending Library. You can even view it if you don't have your account yet, and then you'll be able to check by Spark guide. or they could email us directly. We're going to have our contact information on the next few slides, and we can make sure that you get that right link. Yeah? You're in luck. We're going to tell you on our next steps how you can make that happen.
They will present at anything. I have them almost monthly.
Alrighty. So then let's talk about that. Next steps. This will be hyperlinked. Erica did get these slides. I think they're going to be uploaded. But again, please email us. We can send you these direct links. It's also on ohiopromise.org. But you can request the services there, and that could just be that general overview presentation like you're asking for. We also have a mailing list that you'll see. Yeah, and here's a QR code that'll take you there if anyone wants to scan it before I flip over.
They are currently uploaded, correct, Ruby? Or should be? Yes.
They should be uploaded. Cool. Yep, go ahead.
I just want to say that I heard about all these resources and I felt like it was all over the place. So I just really appreciate the one pager that
Yes.
you have. So it's easy to find it because I feel like sometimes when I went to OCALI, I'm like, okay, now where is that?
can be
It's under this.
overwhelming.
Like at the beginning when you're like, ding, ding, you got to go here, 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 here. So I do appreciate that one pager that you
Yeah.
guys have because it has been confusing over the years to find the resources, all the amazing resources you guys have.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I think I just want to plug this too, just because it can be overwhelming going to our website because we have so much available. So if you haven't just been to OCALI.org lately, we have a new thing called a family resource hub. It doesn't necessarily get to the PD part right there that you're looking for. That's all under Education Station. But if you needed to search by topic for a family that you're supporting, or you just want to link it to the family, we have some. We have updated the way that you can access our resources. So definitely check it out if you have felt that our website was overwhelming in the past. Okay. Thank you all so much. This is the survey for our session. Feel free to scan it and fill it out. We appreciate it. Oh,
Really quick, if you didn't like what we said, our names are Barbie and Jenny. But if you liked what we said, it's Brittany and Jody. So just keep that.
And speaking of that, we really would appreciate when your survey comes, if you guys could participate in filling those out so we know, what went well and what we could do better.
Was there anything else in the chat? We're good.
and then here's our contact information. Reach out at any time. We're happy to chat. Thank you all so much.
Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you guys so much. And we can go ahead and break. And our last session for today's early intervention